Welcome to our deep dive into the inner workings of Amazon,
Ooh, Amazon.
one of the most influential companies, I
Mm,
think,
definitely.
of our time.
Yeah.
We're going to be using Brad Stone's book, The Everything Store, as our roadmap.
Okay.
And it really chronicles Amazon's rise
Right from the beginning.
from a garage bookstore to
Well, the everything store.
the everything store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fascinating because it's not just about, selling books or building
Yeah.
a business. It's really a masterclass in understanding
Yeah.
customer needs,
Yeah.
embracing innovation, and really harnessing the power of data.
Yeah, the analysis that we have really emphasizes Amazon's almost fanatical
Right.
customer obsession. It's
Yeah.
like their North Star, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But customer obsession at Amazon
Right.
isn't just a slogan,
Yeah.
It's a deeply ingrained philosophy that really drives everything they do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about it. They were among the first to offer
Yeah.
customer reviews, even if those reviews were negative.
Yeah. That always struck me as such a bold move because it would have been so easy to just showcase the positive feedback, but they went all in on transparency.
Yeah, because they understood that building trust with the customer
Yeah.
was more important than like presenting this perfect facade,
Right.
right? It's about exceeding expectations
Yeah.
at every touch point, even if that means acknowledging imperfections.
So how can we in our own lives cultivate that same customer-centric
Yeah.
approach, whether we're working on a project or just interacting with others? How can we really put this into practice?
Well, I think it starts with a shift in perspective.
Okay.
Instead of leading with what we want,
Right.
we need to really understand who are we serving
Yeah.
and what do they truly value?
Mhm.
What are their pain points? What are their aspirations?
Yeah.
And how can we help them achieve their goals?
So it's less about pushing our own agenda and more about truly understanding and responding to the needs of others.
Precisely. And that requires
Yeah.
active listening, constant feedback, and a willingness to adapt based on what you learn.
All this customer obsession, though, requires constant innovation to stay ahead of the curve.
Right.
And the article doesn't shy away from Amazon's reputation as a relentless innovator, does it?
Not at all.
No.
I mean, from the Kindle,
Right.
revolutionizing how we read, to Amazon Web Services,
Yeah.
transforming the tech landscape, they never settle for the status quo.
Speaking of AWS,
Yeah.
I have to admit, I hear that term thrown around a lot, but I'm not always sure I fully grasp what it is and why it's such a big deal.
Sure. So AWS is essentially a cloud computing platform.
Okay.
It's a giant network of servers that companies can use to power their websites, applications, and all sorts of digital operations.
Okay.
It's like renting out computing power instead of having to build and maintain your own massive infrastructure.
So it's like they're providing the digital backbone
Exactly.
for countless businesses around the world.
Exactly. And that's just one example of how Amazon is constantly pushing boundaries and reimagining what's possible.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to take risks and experiment, even if it means venturing into uncharted territory.
And sometimes those risks lead to incredible breakthroughs.
Yeah.
Like take their logistics network, for example.
Yeah.
They didn't just settle for existing shipping solutions.
Right. They built their own.
Yeah, they built their own from the ground up.
From the ground up, and that decision has given them a significant competitive advantage.
Yeah.
It allows them to control the entire delivery process from warehouse to doorstep,
Right.
ensuring speed, efficiency, and ultimately customer satisfaction.
It's a reminder that innovation isn't always about flashy gadgets or cutting-edge technology.
Right.
Sometimes it's about rethinking fundamental processes and finding ways to do things better, even if it seems unconventional.
Yeah.
But how can we tap into that innovative spirit
Yeah.
in our own lives? Where do we even begin?
It starts with a simple question.
Yeah.
What's one thing you could do differently? Even if it feels a little uncomfortable or goes against the grain,
Yeah.
challenge your assumptions. Be willing to experiment, and don't be afraid to fail.
I like that.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great point. It's so easy to get stuck in our routines,
Yeah.
our ways of thinking.
Absolutely.
But Amazon's story shows us that real innovation often comes from embracing discomfort,
Yeah.
stepping outside those comfort zones.
It's about cultivating that mindset of continuous improvement,
Right.
always looking for ways to optimize and refine.
Yeah.
And that's where data comes in.
Right.
The article highlights how Amazon's laser focus on data-driven decision-making has been key to their growth.
Yes, it's not just about collecting data. It's about using it strategically to inform every aspect of the business. But
Right.
how does that actually work in practice?
Well, think about their fulfillment centers.
Okay.
They use a sophisticated network of robots and algorithms to manage inventory track orders and optimize delivery routes.
Uh-huh.
All of this is driven by data, allowing them to operate with incredible efficiency and precision.
So they're not just using data to make decisions, they're using it to automate and streamline the entire process.
Yeah, it's like they've built this well-oiled machine.
Right.
Powered by information.
Powered by data.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And that data-driven approach extends far beyond logistics.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Okay.
they use data to personalize customer recommendations, to predict demand for products, and even to develop new products and services.
It's fascinating how they've managed to weave data into the very fabric of their operations.
Right.
But I have to ask,
Yeah.
isn't there a risk of becoming too reliant on data?
Sure.
Could it stifle creativity or lead to a lack of human intuition?
That's a valid concern. Data should be a tool, not a dictator.
Right.
It's important to balance those data-driven insights
Yeah.
with human judgment and creativity. The most effective organizations use data to inform their decisions, but they don't let it replace human ingenuity.
So it's about finding that sweet spot
Yeah.
where data enhances our decision-making
Right.
without completely overriding our intuition and instincts.
Exactly.
But data and innovation aside,
Yeah.
the article also touches on something that can't be measured as easily.
Right.
Amazon's demanding work culture.
Yes. And it's important to acknowledge that their relentless pursuit of excellence has sometimes come at a cost.
Right.
While a culture of high standards can drive incredible results,
Mm-hmm.
it also needs to be balanced with a focus on employee well-being and sustainability.
Because ultimately, a company's success depends on its people.
Yes.
And if those people are burned out or disengaged,
Right.
it's going to impact the bottom line, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's about finding that delicate balance between pushing for ambitious goals
Yeah.
and creating a work environment that is both challenging and supportive.
It seems like a lot of Amazon's success can be attributed to their willingness to constantly question assumptions and push boundaries. But is that something that anyone can do, regardless of their role or industry? Can we all embrace that Amazonian spirit of innovation?
Yeah, it is. It's inspiring to think that we can all learn from Amazon's approach. You know,
Right.
even if we're not building a global empire. But where do we even start?
Well, I think it starts with a shift in mindset,
Okay.
Embrace curiosity,
Yeah.
be open to new ideas, and don't be afraid to challenge the status quo. Even small changes can lead to significant improvements over time.
So it's not about trying to replicate Amazon's exact strategies,
Right.
but rather about adopting their underlying principles.
Exactly.
Customer obsession, relentless innovation,
Yep.
data-driven decision-making.
Precisely. And remember, success isn't a destination, it's a journey.
Right.
There will be bumps along the road,
Huh.
but it's really how you learn and adapt that ultimately determines your success. That's a great point. It's not about being perfect.
Yeah.
It's about constantly learning, evolving, and striving to be better.
Exactly. Embrace those challenges.
Yeah.
Learn from your mistakes, and never stop seeking new knowledge and opportunities for growth.
This deep dive has been incredibly insightful.
It has.
We've covered so much ground, from customer obsession to data-driven decision-making, and even the complexities of Amazon's work culture.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
Right.
The Everything Store is a treasure trove of insights into Amazon's journey and the principles that have driven their success.
Yeah, I'm definitely adding it to my reading list.
Good.
But before we wrap things up, let's recap the key takeaways from our deep dive.
Okay.
What are the big aha moments that our listeners should walk away with?
Well, first and foremost, customer obsession is paramount.
Yes.
It's not just about meeting expectations. It's about exceeding them
Right.
in surprising and delightful ways.
Absolutely. And second, innovation isn't limited to technology. It's about a willingness to challenge assumptions and constantly experiment with new ways of doing things, even if it means venturing into uncharted territory.
Third, data is a powerful tool that can inform decisions, optimize processes, and drive growth. But it's important to use it wisely and balance data-driven insights with human judgment and creativity.
And finally, a culture of high standards can be a powerful driver of success.
Yes.
But it's essential to balance ambition with a focus on employee well-being.
Right.
Create a sustainable and supportive work environment.
Those are some great takeaways.
Yeah.
I hope this deep dive has sparked some ideas and inspired our listener to embrace their own inner innovator.
Me too.
Yeah.
So to our listener, thank you for joining us on this journey into the world of Amazon. We hope you've learned something new,
Yes.
gained some valuable insights, and maybe even feel a little bit more empowered to apply these principles in your own life and work.
And if you're looking to delve even deeper into Amazon's fascinating story and the mind of Jeff Bezos, I highly recommend checking out the Everything Store. It's a captivating read that will give you a whole new perspective on the world of business and innovation.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.